Ambassador Ajay Basaria, for joining me on the telecast and sharing your views on this very important subject. General Kochar back on the telecast with me. And General Kochar, quickly a response from you. It's also interesting to know how ironical this is, that till the time the Pakistani political leadership and the Pakistani army continues its terror onslaught on India, the Americans and the West are not really concerned. But the moment these terror attacks are subjected to the Jews, all hell breaks loose. It's also interesting to know how Pakistan is going to balance it out, because its political class, its army, Pakistani people, Muslims at large in these radical countries have a very anti-Zionist narrative, this ideology. This ideology is in fact something that terror outfits emanating out of Pakistan and other parts of the Middle East, which are then targeting the Jews, which are in fact the Hamas attacks that had happened in on October 7th, last year. The genesis of it was also the anti-Zionist sentiment. How does America balance it out with Pakistan in perpetuating this anti-Jew, anti-Semitic sentiment within the country?
Megha, you have to understand one thing. There is a compartmentalized approach which the United States is actually adopting today. It is separating the ideology from the fundamental geopolitics of a particular region. And I'll try to qualify my statement with the example of Syria. In Syria, we have a former Al-Qaeda terrorist who is the president of Syria today, Abu Muhammad al-Jalani. United States has shaken hands with him today.
Yeah.
Because why? Because of geopolitical reasons, because United States does not want any Russian presence in Syria as of now, and United States wants to establish its own bases in Syria so that it can dominate the West Asian region. And that is why all the sanctions have been lifted against Syria. So if I take this as an example of the thinking of the President of the United States or the foreign policy of the United States, then it becomes easier to understand the kind of relationship United States wants to keep with Pakistan. There are two reasons why United States keeps aside the ideologies here. The first reason is that of China's increasing influence in South Asia. And United States feels that it needs to develop a better relations with Pakistan. If you remember, Megha, during the Biden administration, the relations between United States and Pakistan were not that good. Trump is now trying to bring Pakistan closer to America, firstly to check the American influence, secondly to contain strengthening of India. Because today, if you have a look at the world economies, India is the fastest growing economy in the world. Trump does not want to make the mistake he made with China. He allowed China to grow, and or United States allowed China to grow, and today China is more than an adversary. Therefore, United States does not want India to grow, and therefore we see the involvement in Bangladesh, we see the involvement in Myanmar, we see the involvement in our northeastern states. We have sufficient intelligence to believe that there is a US hand in the troubles which are happening in our northeastern states. So if we take that as a rudiment of the foreign policy of the United States, that it needs to contain India, and therefore needs to strengthen Pakistan, and therefore needs to engage India all the time with Pakistan and other problems which the Indians have. And there is also an internal issue here, because United States is funding certain NGOs in India to speak anti-India sentiments. We are aware of the situation. So if that is the case, then it becomes very, very clear to understand that why this terrorism thing is not being recognized or not being associated with Pakistan.
Yeah.
Pakistan is being shown as a victim of terrorism, as a matter of fact, because the kind of statements which emanate from Trump, he is equating Pakistan and India, as far as terrorism is concerned, as both being victims of terrorism, which I think is not correct, and
Yeah.
it's not the true facts as the world sees it. And therefore, I would like to conclude this argument here, saying that American foreign policy today in South Asia is a short-term policy. It's not a far-sighted policy, because
Okay.
tomorrow this terrorism is going to hit America.
Yeah. Okay.
ISIS is going to become strong, the Al Qaeda is going to become strong, and they're going to hit America.
Okay. All right. On that note, I'm out of time. Thank you, General Kochar, for joining me on the telephone.